Okay, so let's get into this. We're diving into a really, really fascinating idea today. Basically, that how we handle money.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't always about being smart, like IQ smart. It's fundamentally about our behavior. And for this deep dive, we're pulling some core insights from Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. You've probably heard of it. It's pretty insightful.
Exactly. And our mission here, for you listening, is to kind of break down 6 timeless lessons from the book. These aren't just theories, right?
Yeah.
They really show why our own minds, our psychology, often gets in the way of actually building wealth. And more importantly, how you can use these ideas to make, well, smarter money moves, starting like right now. Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, your essential guide to understanding the psychology behind your own finances.
Okay, first step, lesson one, this one. It might just shift how you look at other people's money habits. It's called No One's Crazy. And it's this really powerful idea that every financial decision someone makes, no matter how weird or, risky it seems to you, it actually makes perfect sense to them because it's all based on their own unique life experiences.
It really is. I mean, think about it. Maybe your neighbor makes what looks like a super risky investment, but maybe they grew up when the market was, really wild and taking big swings was the only way they saw people get ahead.
Right. Their context.
Exactly. Or flip side, maybe a friend is incredibly cautious, almost too conservative with money. Perhaps they saw someone close to them lose a lot firsthand, witness that pain. So the big takeaway really is that finance is deeply, deeply personal. And the first step always is understanding your own money story, where your beliefs came from.
That's huge, understanding your own story.
Yeah.
It makes you think differently. And speaking of things we don't always see clearly, Housel talks next about luck and risk. He calls them siblings. Yeah, tightly connected in almost every financial outcome. We tend to mix them up, don't we? Or like attribute success only to skill and failure only to mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. We do it all the time. So how does this luck and risk thing actually play out? House will give some great examples. Think Bill Gates. Part of his story is getting incredibly lucky with early access to a school computer, like way before most people. That was pure chance, but it changed everything for him.
A massive advantage, yeah. Just being in the right place, right time.
Totally. And then there's the risk side. Countless people, smart people, lost fortunes in a single market crash, one event they couldn't control. That's risk. So what House stresses, you need humility when things go right. Acknowledge the luck. And you need resilience, maybe good cheer is a good way to put it. When things go wrong, understand the risk. The key thing is, don't confuse luck with skill. And definitely don't confuse bad outcomes purely from risk with personal failure.
That distinction is so important. Humility and resilience. Okay, lesson 3, never enough. This feels, well, very human, doesn't it? This constant chase, always wanting more, bigger house, better car, more money, just this endless pursuit of
Your satisfaction. Yeah, and it's a trap for so many. What's really counterintuitive and what the book points out is that after a certain point, and it might be lower than you think, piling up more wealth doesn't necessarily bring more happiness. Actually, it can add stress, the burden of managing it, the fear of losing it, the constant comparison game with others. It can be draining.
Right, keeping up with Joneses, but on a bigger scale, maybe.
Sort of, yeah. So the advice, really, the challenge for you is to define what enough means for you, like a specific number or a lifestyle level, something that lets you live comfortably, feel secure, without needing to constantly look over your shoulder or chase the next thing. What's your enough?
Defining enough. That's a tough one, but probably crucial. All right, moving on. Let's talk about something that works quietly, almost invisibly at first, but has incredible power. Lesson 4, confounding compounding. Often called the 8th wonder of the world, or the most powerful force in finance. Why is it so hard for us to, really get its power?
Well, I think it's because our brains tend to think in straight lines, linear growth. We see A plus B equals C. Compounding is exponential. It's A times B, then that result times B again. It snowballs. And that's hard to intuitively grasp until you see it over long periods. Housel uses the classic example, Warren Buffett. His massive wealth wasn't built by age 30 with crazy returns.
No, not at all.
Right. It was built by starting early and letting his investments compound for decade after decade after decade, consistency and time. So the practical takeaway for you is pretty clear. Start investing early, even if it's just a small amount. Seriously, even $50 a month. Because time, not trying to perfectly time the market, is your absolute best friend when it comes to compounding.
Time, not timing. Love that. Okay, so if compounding is about time, the next lesson looks at a different angle. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy.
Mm.
Housel argues these are really different skills, and we often assume if someone's good at making money, they're automatically good at keeping it. But that's not always true, is it?
Not at all. It's a really common mistake. The book details the differences pretty starkly.
Hmm.
Getting wealthy might involve taking big risks, maybe being aggressive, chasing high returns. Could work, could blow up. But staying wealthy, keeping it, growing it steadily, that takes different qualities entirely.
Like what?
Well, humility, for one. Knowing you don't know everything in the market can surprise you. Diversification, not having all your eggs in one basket. And, maybe most importantly, patience. Resisting the urge to constantly tinker or chase the next hot thing.
Mm.
And there's a crucial warning here, really vital. Never risk money you already have and need for money you don't have and don't need.
Wow. Never risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need.
That's
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Kind of brings us nicely to the last lesson, lesson 6, you and me. This one really hammers home the importance of your personal situation. It's not about finding the best investment in some objective sense, right?
Exactly right. It's all about individual perspective. The book uses a great example. Like a 10% return might sound good, right? But for someone just starting out, maybe in their 20s, that 10% is thrilling. It's growth. For someone retired, living off their savings, that same investment, if it comes with volatility, might be absolutely terrifying. That 10% isn't worth the sleepless nights.
Because their needs and risk tolerance are completely different.
Totally different. There's no single right answer that fits everyone. So the core message is you have to align your financial plan, your investments, your saving strategy with your unique risk tolerance, your personal goals, and your time frame. Your perfect portfolio fits you. Not your neighbor, not some guru, nobody else. Just you.
Okay, so we've gone through these 6 big ideas. No one's crazy, luck and risk, never enough, compounding, getting versus staying wealthy, and finally, it's all about you. It really paints a picture of money being so much about behavior, about psychology. So the big question then is, what can you actually do with this? Let's get practical. What are some concrete action steps someone listening can take, like today?
Yeah, good question. The source offers 5 pretty clear actions you can start with. First, try writing down your personal money story. Seriously, think about it. How did your upbringing, your parents' habits, maybe early experiences, shake how you feel about money now? Understanding that narrative is key. It connects back to that no one's crazy idea.
Okay, know your story. What's second?
Second, define your enough number. We talked about this. What level of wealth or income lets you feel secure and comfortable without needing to constantly compare or strive for more? Write it down. Try to commit to it.
Define enough. Got it.
Third, automate. Set up an automatic monthly contribution to your savings or investments, even if it feels small, like $50 or $100. Just get it going consistently. That leverages compounding without you having to think about it every month.
Set it and forget it, basically.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Number 4.
Fourth, review your asset mix. Look at how your money is currently spread out, stocks, bonds, cash, whatever. Does that mix actually align with your goals for both growth and protection? Is it right for your stage of life and risk tolerance?
Check your allocation. Okay. And the last one.
And finally, number 5, actively personalize your plan. Really internalize this idea that there's no magic formula, no one-size-fits-all answer. Embrace your path. Build a plan that fits your life, your goals, your psychology.
Write your story. Define enough. Automate. Review your mix and personalize. That's actually pretty actionable. This whole deep dive, it really drives home that building wealth isn't just about math problems or spreadsheets, is it?
Not at all.
It's so much about mastering our own behavior, our own impulses.
It truly is. And look, by understanding your own biases, those mental shortcuts and traps we all fall into, by embracing the slow, steady power of compounding, and maybe most importantly, by defining your own unique path and what enough truly means to you, you absolutely can make smarter financial decisions. Decisions that help you not just years from now, but starting today.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. How might truly understanding these psychological lessons of money, especially that idea of figuring out your own personal enough, how might that change the way you actually view and interact with your finances, starting today?